I sat in our dimly lit living room, swirling the whiskey in my glass as my mind raced. The message on Sophia's phone burned into my brain. "Last night was incredible. Can't wait to see you again, baby." I read it again, half expecting the words to change, half hoping I had imagined them. But there it was, cold, undeniable truth. My chest tightened and my fingers clenched the glass so hard I thought it might shatter. 12 years. 12 damn years I had given to this woman. Through every hardship, every sacrifice, I had remained loyal. And this was my reward. A wife sneaking around behind my back with some faceless stranger? The sound of running water from the bathroom snapped me back to reality. Sophia was still in the shower, oblivious to the firestorm raging inside me. For a brief, impulsive moment, I wanted to burst in there and confront her, demand answers, watch her squirm. But I stopped myself. That wasn't how this would play out. If she thought she was clever, if she believed I was just some naive husband too blind to see the truth, she was in for a rude awakening. I wouldn't give her the chance to lie, to manipulate, to twist the story. I needed proof, more than just a message, something undeniable, something I could use to destroy whatever twisted fantasy she had built for herself. My mind worked quickly. I needed access to her phone, but she never let it out of her sight. But her laptop, that was different. She often left it open, assuming I had no interest in her personal files. Quietly, I slipped into our bedroom, heart pounding as I approached her desk. The screen was still on. A stroke of luck. I clicked the messaging app, and my blood turned to ice. There it was. A thread of texts between her and someone named Nathan. "Nathan, I miss you already. You looked so good in that dress today. Can't stop thinking about last night. Sophia, you're bad. If my husband knew what we did in his bed, he'd lose it." I gritted my teeth so hard my jaw ached. In our bed, she had defiled the very space where we had once shared our most intimate moments. My grip tightened on the laptop, and for a second I considered smashing it against the wall. But I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. Anger wouldn't win this fight. Strategy would. I scrolled further. Pictures. Not just messages, but photos. Some taken in hotel rooms, some in our house. My vision blurred with rage as I stared at an image of Sophia in the lingerie I had bought her for our anniversary. Only she hadn't been wearing it for me. A notification popped up. "Nathan, can't wait to have you again this weekend." Same hotel? Same hotel. So this wasn't a one-time mistake. This wasn't regret. This was a full-blown affair, planned and executed without a shred of guilt. I closed the laptop, breathing heavily. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. I had all the proof I needed. The sound of the bathroom door opening made me step back. Sophia walked out, wrapped in a towel, steam curling around her. She looked at me, startled. "Hey, what are you doing?" I forced a smile. "Just checking some emails." She nodded, running a hand through damp hair. "You okay? You look tense." Tense? If only she knew. "I'm fine," I said, voice steady. "Just tired." She gave a small smile and walked past me, oblivious. I watched her, taking in every movement, every little gesture. I saw her differently now, not as my loving wife, not as the woman I had shared my life with. No, she was my enemy now, and enemies didn't get mercy. As she climbed into bed, I glanced at her phone lying on the nightstand, the device she guarded so carefully. Soon, she'd be asleep. Soon, I'd have my chance to dig deeper. Because this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. That weekend arrived sooner than I expected. Sophia packed her bags with practiced ease, stuffing clothes into a sleek designer suitcase, the same one I had gifted her on our anniversary. "I'll be back Sunday evening," she said, voice sweet, rehearsed. I nodded, feigning indifference. "Work trip again?" She hesitated for a fraction of a second before smiling. Yeah, you know how these retreats go. Long meetings, networking, and barely any sleep. Barely any sleep, I bet. I forced a chuckle, masking the bitterness crawling up my throat. Well, have fun. She kissed my cheek, that same mouth that had whispered lies into my ear for months. My skin burned where her lips touched, but I remained still. She grabbed her purse, heading for the door. The moment it clicked shut, I sprang into action. My phone buzzed. Jake, she's on the move, he said, watching the live GPS feed. You ready? I grabbed my keys, heart hammering. I've never been more ready in my life. We had a plan, one meticulous, calculated, and cruel. By the time I arrived at the hotel, I already knew which room she was in. Floor 10, room 1004. A perfect hideaway for adulterers who thought their dirty little secrets would stay buried. I sat in the lobby, dressed casually, a coffee in hand, eyes on the elevator. Then I saw them. Sophia clinging to him. Nathan. He was taller than me, broad shoulders stretching his fitted shirt, his confident smirk radiating arrogance. A man who thought he had won. A man who thought I was weak. They laughed as they stepped into the elevator, oblivious to my presence. Rage simmered beneath my skin, but I didn't move. Not yet. Jake sat beside me, pretending to scroll through his phone. You sure about this? He murmured. I took a slow sip of coffee, voice cold. She deserves worse. So does he. Jake nodded. Then let's do it. We already had cameras set up inside our bedroom capturing their previous escapades, but now I needed a final nail in the coffin. I stood, making my way toward the front desk. Excuse me, I said, sliding a crisp $100 bill across the counter. I'm supposed to surprise my wife in room 1004, but I lost my key. Think you can help? The receptionist hesitated before nodding. Money spoke louder than morality. Moments later, I had the spare key in my hand. I turned to Jake. Time to crash their little getaway. We took the elevator up, the weight of revenge heavy in my chest. My hands clenched into fists as we reached the door. From inside, muffled laughter, the unmistakable sound of betrayal in motion. I exhaled slowly. Then, with deliberate force, I swiped the keycard and pushed the door open. Nathan froze, shirtless, sprawled on the bed like he owned the place. Sophia gasped, yanking the sheets over her half-naked body. Her eyes widened in sheer horror. Whoa, what are you? I stepped inside, Jake beside me, my calm smile sending chills down her spine. Don't stop on my account, I said, my voice dripping with venom. I just came to see what my wife is really up to on these work trips. Nathan sat up, frowning. Who the hell are you? Jake scoffed. You really don't know. That's her husband. Nathan blinked, glancing between us before smirking. Oh, so you're the guy she's been cheating on. He chuckled, shaking his head. Man, I almost feel bad for you. I smiled. You won't in a minute. Before he could react, I pulled out my phone and hit play. The room filled with their moans, a recording from my bedroom camera. Sophia's breath hitched. Oh my God, she whispered. Nathan's smirk faltered as the realization hit him. Oh, and don't worry, I added, voice casual. This isn't just for my entertainment. It's already been sent to everyone we know. Her family, her co-workers, even your boss, Nathan. Sophia's scream ripped through the room. You bastard! She lunged at me, but I sidestepped, watching her crumble to the floor in a mess of tangled sheets and tears. Nathan shot to his feet, rage twisting his features. You set us up? I tilted my head. You thought I was just some pathetic husband who'd let this slide. My voice darkened. You have no idea who you just fucked with. His fists clenched. You think you can humiliate me? Jake chuckled beside me. Oh, buddy, We're just getting started. Nathan's nostrils flared, his muscles tensing as if he were seconds away from lunging at me. Good. Let him. I took a step closer, locking eyes with him. You thought I wouldn't find out? That I'd just sit back while you fucked my wife in my bed? My voice was calm, measured, dripping with disdain. Tell me, Nathan, did you ever stop to wonder what would happen when the wimp she married finally fought back? Sophia scrambled up from the floor, wild-eyed, her towel barely clinging to her trembling body. Please, stop, she choked out. You don't have to do this. I turned my gaze on her, feeling nothing but cold detachment. The woman I once loved no longer existed. Oh, but I do, I said, pulling another phone from my pocket. See, I've been busy. While you were sneaking around, I was gathering proof. Pictures, videos, timestamps, everything needed to prove your adultery in court. I waved the phone at her. This little device? It guarantees that you walk away from this marriage with nothing. Her face drained of color. No, you wouldn't. I grinned. I already did. Nathan scoffed, folding his arms over his chest. So what? You humiliate her, take her money, ruin her life. Then what? You still leave empty-handed. I chuckled, shaking my head. Nathan, Nathan, Nathan. I sighed dramatically. I didn't just expose her, I exposed you. His brow furrowed. I tapped my phone screen, bringing up an email draft. Your boss, Gregory Wallace, right? I smirked as he stiffened. Yeah, I know him. And I know he has a strict no-fraternization policy. So when he sees these... I swiped through the photos. Nathan and Sophia entangled in our bed, in his car, at the office. Undeniable evidence. You're done. Fired. Good luck finding another job in this industry when every competitor sees what kind of loyal employee you are. Nathan's jaw tightened. You can't... Oh, but I already sent it. I clicked send with exaggerated flair. Oops. Sophia let out a broken sob, covering her mouth. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I tilted my head, pretending to think. Didn't mean for what? To betray me? To fuck him in my house? I let the words sink in. Or didn't mean to get caught. Her silence was answer enough. Nathan was shaking now, fists balled, his entire world crumbling around him. You son of a bitch, I smirked. That's Mr. Son of a Bitch to you. Before he could react, Jake stepped forward. Here's the deal, buddy. You're gonna walk out of this hotel. You're gonna forget Sophia ever existed. Because if you come near my friend again... He leaned in, voice dropping to a lethal whisper. We will ruin you beyond repair. Nathan's nostrils flared, but he wasn't stupid. The fight drained from his stance as reality set in. He had already lost. Without another word, he grabbed his clothes, shoved them on, and stormed out of the room. Sophia collapsed onto the bed, shaking her head, whispering, No, 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 over and over. I crouched beside her, my voice soft but firm. You made your choice, Sophia. Now you live with it. She reached for me, tears streaming down her face. I still love you. I laughed, standing up. You love the security I gave you, the life I built for us, but you never loved me. She sobbed harder, but I felt nothing. I turned to Jake. Let's go. As I walked away, Sophia wailed my name, but I didn't look back. I was done. The night air felt crisp as I stepped out of the hotel, leaving behind the wreckage of my past. Sophia's cries still echoed in my ears, but they no longer carried the weight they once did. She was nothing to me now. Jake walked beside me, hands in his pockets, stealing glances in my direction. You good? I took a deep breath, exhaling slowly. Yeah, better than I've felt in a long time. We reached my car, the engine humming to life beneath my fingertips. For the first time in years, I felt like I was the one in control. No more lies, No more deceit. Just me, my future, and a clean slate. Jake chuckled. Man, I gotta say, that was some next-level revenge. You really left no stone unturned. I smirked, pulling out of the parking lot. She thought I'd be weak, that I'd crumble, but all she did was wake up the part of me that refuses to be played. As we drove through the city, my mind replayed every moment, every sign I had ignored, every betrayal I had endured. Sophia had shattered my trust, but she would never break me. 3 months later, divorce papers signed, assets secured. Sophia walked away with nothing but regret, just as I promised. Nathan, unemployed, blacklisted from his field, and drowning in legal battles over workplace misconduct. The best part? I had moved on. I sipped my whiskey, seated at a high-end rooftop bar overlooking the skyline. The weight of my past had lifted, replaced with something far sweeter. Freedom. Mind if I join you? I turned, finding a woman with striking green eyes and a confident smirk standing beside me. She wasn't like Sophia. There was no deception behind her gaze, no hidden agendas. I gestured to the empty seat. Please. She sat down, studying me. You look like a man who just closed an important chapter in his life. I chuckled. You could say that? She clinked her glass against mine. Then here's to new beginnings. As I met her gaze, something stirred in me. Not revenge, not bitterness, but possibility. For the first time in years, I felt alive.